The holiday shopping season is now in full swing as Cyber Monday deals try to attract consumers with less purchasing power than we had a year ago. Personal finance expert and New York Times bestselling author Rachel Cruz, along with mental health expert and bestselling author Dr. Delony, join us right now on Zoom to talk about a new report by Ramsey Solutions. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having us.
Let's get right to it. Starting with you, Rachel, what for you is the key takeaway from this cost of Christmas report?
Yes, so Ramsey Solutions, we launched our study at the State of Personal Finance right now. We found that over 40% of Americans said they're not going to cut back on their Christmas spending this year, which is kind of wild because we know that 78% of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck before inflation and COVID and all of this has hit us the past 2 years. And so I would really encourage people to say, hey, listen, you want to be intentional with the money that you have. So you want to figure out how much cash you have, not debt, how much cash you have to spend this Christmas, and create a budget around it. You know, list out everyone you're going to spend a gift on, put dollar amounts next to their names, which sounds kind of weird, but it's really helpful. And then your goal is the income or the money you want to spend for Christmas minus all of the people you want to buy for equals zero. So you just go in with a plan, spending your money versus the bank's money.
And Dr. Delony, you know, on your podcast, on your YouTube channel, you take a lot of questions from people about their mental health of all sorts of situations. In what ways do you see money and inflation and thinking about money affecting people's mental health?
I think there's been a significant rise in anxiety and depression across the country, so I think it's affecting us directly. But in two unique ways. One is we spend so much energy on things we can't control, and so we end up scrolling and clicking, hoping that the gas prices are going to go down, and it allows us to avoid reality. The second thing is we just start spending to try to make ourselves feel better, and we swipe and we swipe and we swipe, and it feels good in the moment to give a gift that we can't afford, but then we're going to wake up on December 26th and have a whole bunch of bills to deal with. And if you owe somebody money, your body will not let you relax and feel safe, and so you're going to be anxious the more you swipe and the more you swipe and the more you swipe.
Rachel, wanted some advice on you on kind of setting expectations, because we know that there's only so much cash, and especially if we have that sum zero game where it's like the end of the Christmas budget is the end of the Christmas budget. So then in interpersonal communication, how do we set expectations with those around us, especially kids?
Yeah, well, John talks about this a lot, but it's just communicate. I mean, say it out loud. When you have an expectation in your head of how you want them to react or what you're thinking about, you can't control them. And so I would say to go in and just be honest with people, which takes a lot of humility, but everyone knows that we're struggling right now. I mean, everyone is. Everyone's feeling the pinch because of food and gas prices. Like, that is still a reality. And so for you to be able to say, hey, this Christmas may not look like the Christmas in the past, but we still want to do maybe a gift exchange and it's a homemade gift, or I don't know, you can get creative with things, but I would say just say it out loud. And I would also do that with your kids, especially if you have older kids and they can handle some of the reality. You don't want to scare them, but share where you're at to a percentage of it so that they know on Christmas morning, hey, Christmas may look a little different. And you know what? They're going to be okay. Everyone's going to survive that. It's okay. And so doing what's best for you and your family is what's really key this holiday season.
And John, the last word from you on just this expectation, the season of expectations here going into Christmas and how folks can manage that.
One of the things my wife and I have done a couple of different times, and we've had to go back to the well on it, is be very specific and very clear of what do we want Thanksgiving to look like? What do we want Christmas to look like? How do we want to feel? What conversations do we need to have with our parents and with our in-laws and with our kids? As Rachel mentioned, what do we want this thing to look like? And let's reverse engineer it and actually plan this thing out. And that means we're going to have to say no to some things. We're going to have some new boundaries that we've never had before, and that's going to feel awkward and uncomfortable. But we're going to be very clear, and we're going to create the picture that we want. And so far, in my home, it's been magical.
All right, Dr. Delony, Rachel Cruz, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.